Hey folks, how is everyone going today? We have something completely different, and it's a bit of a first for this channel because I had a viewer now get a job with a vendor and reach out offering some sort of sponsored engagement, which is really cool. I really like that. So thank you, Sean, for reaching out and sending this unit for me to test. Now, the rest of you viewers, full disclosure, absolute transparency, they are paying me for this review. However, they're paying me to make it quickly, not for the content. So if you're not familiar, it's probably worth having a look at what I call my review terms. Now, these are something that all vendors have to agree to if they send me something, which basically says they don't get a say in what I say. There might be some charges, of course, like this. They want it really quickly. This just arrived this week. But you can see I'm not going to let them review it. I'm not going to let them decide what goes in it. And basically, they send it to me and then they have to live with the outcome. So they should be very, very sure of their product. And this is, of course, completely public for anyone to access if you're ever curious. But it's something that I think is really important because I want to give an honest appraisal of everything that I look at. I don't want them to have to review it. I don't want them to interrupt my workflow. And I'm never going to be given money to say something specific. Now, they have given me some talking points. I, of course, wanted to know why they think this product is that good. So I'll let you know what they've told me, but we will also test it out for ourselves. Now, obviously, this wrapper's a little bit shiny. There's some light in your face. So let's get this wrapper off, get into this product, and see what actually makes it tick. This is also some absolutely beautiful packaging, I've got to say. I do like packaging. I like things to be well designed from the package all the way to the functionality, essentially. I think that's really important. And we've got some immediate specs on the back. But another thing that I want to be transparent about, actually, I just realized I don't think we've done any AMD. I wish that autofocus would cut it out. I don't think we've done anything AMD yet. So this will also be a first for that. Now, a lot of people, especially the tech-oriented folk, are possibly going to point out a few concerns about this processor. Now, in case you weren't aware, the Ryzen 5 7530U, or basically that whole series, is AMD's Barcelo-R/Zen 3 architecture, which is actually the same underlying architecture from 2021 that I understand. They just relabeled it under the 7000 series. So it's architecturally equivalent to older generation, roughly 4-year-old processors from AMD. However, it does have some pretty cool features. Now, primarily, this has a really low TDP. So its base TDP is 15 watts, but this is actually configured to run at about 28 from memory, which means if you're going to compare it to a newer CPU, like the 8540, you're going to get very different comparison. That's going to be a hotter processor consuming more power, as opposed to this, which is going to be more cost effective to purchase, lower power, lower heat. However, GEEKOM have also gone one further, I noticed, and this I couldn't see clearly documented, but they do touch on it, and it's just about their design. So let's unbox this and have a look at that. Oh, that is a mini PC. That is very mini. That's smaller than the last mini PC that I looked at, which, get this out. Does the bottom come off? Which is now running, no, the bottom doesn't come off, which is now running my home theater to test out. So I've got a few things in here as well. I really like, that really doesn't weigh much. That's probably about 500, 600 grams. I don't know what that is in freedom units, sorry. Very Apple-esque packaging, but I like it. For all of you that enjoy unboxing things, this will probably give you that happy little bit of dopamine. So we've got some Visa mounting holes there, which is pretty sweet. We've got some nice rubber feet. We've got our specs, including the power information, all the certifications on the bottom. We've got the MAC address, which is excellent, and a unique serial number. This is aluminium, I can tell because it's nice and cool. Before I get into the ports and everything, thanks for your support. You're very welcome. Thank you, Sean. Thank the rest of you for your support too. I've just got another Patreon subscriber, which is always very nice. So we've got a fold-out manual here. Now, I don't often look at the manual because I think things should have good user experience design or UX design. But this is about modding it, which is pretty cool because I believe it takes up to 2 RAM DIMMs or SO-DIMMs it looks like, and up to 2 M.2 SSDs. So having that modding instruction is really good. We then have instructions on the back in a lot of different languages. Excellent. That can get out of the way for now. We then have a HDMI cable, always good to have spares. We've got a Mickey Mouse style Australian power plug. We've got a 65 watt AC adapter with a DC barrel jack on the end. So that looks like a 5525 barrel jack. We have our VESA mounting adapter, always excellent for anyone that's going to configure this or set this up behind their monitor or mounted up on a wall, and a couple of screws. So that's all excellent. Now, GEEKOM, off the bat, standard 65 watt power supply with a standard barrel jack. I would prefer USB Type-C, however, you're using standard specifications and standard plugs, so I'm not gonna complain about that. What I am gonna do though, is use a USB Type-C adapter, and that's mostly for my own, what's the word? I can't even think of the word I'm looking for right now. Basically, because I've already got it plugged in, it's right there. So I'm just gonna grab a 19 volt plug. What's that one? That's, yep, 19 volts. And I've got a 65 watt power supply hooked up there. So we'll get to that in a tick. Now looking around, we've got two USB Type-C ports on the front. From what I understand, they're also USB 3.2 Gen 2, I think it is. We've got an audio jack there. Oh, we've got a very nice feeling power button. Can you hear that click? That's excellent. There's some thermal venting around the sides, which is really nice, but it is quite cool to the touch. So we know the whole thing's aluminium. Full-size SD card slot there. Now on the back, this is pretty cool. We've got our DC barrel jack connection, and it states there that it is 19 volt, and it's also got the polarity, which is always excellent. As I mentioned, it also states this on the bottom, so you know it uses a 65 watt power supply. I really don't like it when vendors don't have this information, because if you lose their power supply, you risk destroying it if you plug something else in. We've got two HDMI connections, and we've also got two USB Type-C. Those would also be 3.2 Gen 2, because they say 10 gigabit. They actually show you that it's 10 gigabit there. They also have the display port symbol next to it. So we know that it's essentially going to be quad display. We've got two HDMI outputs there, which are going to be 4K 60, I believe. We will check the specs soon. HDMI 2.0, and then we've got two USB Type-C ports that also support DisplayPort. That'll be DisplayPort Alt mode, I believe. We have another USB Type A connection here. Again, same spec. And we have a Type A USB 2.0. Sorry, brain's getting away from me there, along with some more thermal venting. Now, the reason this can actually be really handy, as I've touched on before, some people might say, oh, why isn't it all USB 3.2? Well, A, limitations of the size. The processor in here might not have enough PCIe lanes for it. However, there is another thing too. And that's that if you're plugging in a wireless dongle for a wireless keyboard and mouse, you want to plug it into this one. The reason being that you'll find plugging into a USB 3 plus port, especially I think 3.1, from what I understand, has some operational frequency that's about the same as the 2.4 gigahertz wireless transmission. So you'll probably get really flaky keyboard and mouse experience if you're using USB 3 port. USB 2 port means that's not a problem. So if you've got a home theater PC or anything like that where you're having wireless mouse issues, either stick a little 10 centimeter extension on it, like this one that I use, or simply plug it into a USB 2.0 port. So this is very, very well made. I'm not going to rip it open yet. What we will do is quickly get into the specs now. So over here, you know what? I'm going to close that because they're paying me. I'm not going to do an ad read. We have our USB ports, HDMI ports, card reader, 2.5 gig Ethernet, I forgot to mention. Now internally there is Wi-Fi 6 and Bluetooth 5.2. Dual copper heat pipes, which is excellent. Windows 11 Pro with Copilot pre-installed, ready to use, also Linux compatible. Less than half a litre in volume with a VESA mount points and proven reliability. Now we will of course test that out. This is also a 16 gig RAM, 1 terabyte SSD config for $789, and personally I think that's quite an excellent price point. If you compare it to others, especially for what this can be, what this can do, I think you'd really, really struggle. Ships quickly, delivery within Australia, and you can see it's even, they've got an Australian presence, which is excellent, and free shipping within Australia. Now, getting down, obviously AMD CPU, AMD graphics. We have 8 cores, 16 threads, up to 4.3 gigahertz. wide compatibility, compact design, what's new, what haven't we looked at? Quad display support, like I mentioned, dual channel DDR support up to 64 gig of RAM, and up to 3 PCIe Gen 3 up to 4 SSD, PCIe Gen 3 4-lane SSDs. So the M2 2280s, 2 of them, as I was saying. Now we will open it up and have a look after we've tried it out first. That is our ports that we looked at before, so I got all of that right. Quad display, like I thought, and I think it'll be 4K 60 FPS, knowing this GPU. That's at least my understanding, but it might say here we go. Ports, little typo there, Sean, if you want to get you guys to fix up that capitalization. So that processor is, oh, look at that, 652 grams, I was close. That processor is configured at a 28 watt TDP, which is going to make this stand out compared to others. Let's have a quick look at that too. If we go browser.geekbench.com, we'll see what that looks like. Excellent. So 4K quad display, which is bloody excellent. I also quite like a lot of what GEEKOM do. So if you have a look down here, they've got a whole page just for LLMs to ingest with their information. They also have a sustainability policy, which is really, really good. Not enough businesses do that. And then you'll see they've got some information and some stuff that others don't have. For example, a download center. And what I saw here when I was having a look earlier is not only do they provide all the drivers, which most mini PC vendors won't provide, they also provide a fresh image in case you want it back to factory defaults and don't want to image it yourself. Now, we are going to wipe it and reinstall Windows 11 to see how it performs out of the box, because there's always concerns about Wi-Fi activation, stuff like that. But yeah, they provide all the drivers that you're going to need, and they also provide BIOS updates. Now, that takes me on to 2 other things. When you're going to be comparing a product like this to that of any other vendor, this is a genuine Windows 11 Pro license, and we'll test that out with a fresh install, wiping the drive and installing it, and it should automatically activate. So that means it's an OEM license that's burned into the board, and that's something worth being aware of. A lot of other mini PC vendors, especially to make them really cheap, won't use genuine licenses, and that can cause problems. You'll also find a lot of vendors don't let you change the BIOS setting without it voiding warranty. I think that's absolute rubbish. The BIOS is essentially part of the functionality you should be able to twiddle with. The last one, of course, is the updates. A lot of vendors won't provide you drivers, they won't provide you BIOS updates, and they won't provide you with the Windows image. So we will test that out, but that does set GEEKOM apart from the others. Added the Australian stock and shipping, and then what looks like a really, really good warranty policy. So from what I can read online from people's experiences and from what their warranty information says, is that they've got the 3-year warranty that most other brands don't supply. They only have a 1-year warranty, but GEEKOM pretty much cover everything. So others might require you to post it to them at your own cost, things like that. No, GEEKOM cover everything. Local stock, local warranty, not having to send stuff overseas for $100 plus. Just reach out to their team and they will help you out. To show that, have a look at their return and exchange policy. They, of course, are going to cover you if you get something DOA. 7 days for something that's dead on arrival is completely expected. They do want you to check it when you receive it, of course. They also allow you to return it with only a 5% fee if you just aren't happy, which is really, really good. And then you can see that they're going to cover shipping fees of any malfunction within the first 6 months, but they do have a full 3-year warranty. There is normal exceptions, but these are all completely normal. And it looks like they've got much better transparency and much better accountability than most other vendors I've seen. Now, they do have a sale on at the moment too, and it includes this exact product in a bundle. If you have a look down here, you can get the A5 Pro, yeah, as I said, $789. And something you'll notice as well, they have stock. A lot of other vendors right now, especially with the RAM shortages or the NAND flash shortages, don't have stock and can't actually ship it to you. They can. We are going to be testing out the power consumption of this. We're going to test it with Windows and Linux. I'm going to benchmark it with the factory image. I'm going to benchmark it with a fresh install of Windows. I'm going to benchmark it under Linux. All those results will be below. What I'm also going to do, of course, is see if Wi-Fi GPU and basic functionality works out of the box with all those fresh images. And for that, it'll be a brand new Windows 11 image and a brand new Debian 13 image that we put on here. So let's get into it. Let's actually see what this thing can do. I'm extremely excited about this. Now, just as a very quick self-plug, don't forget that I do have Patreon. So if you're not necessarily wanting to support me by liking, subscribing, thumbs upping, commenting, all those things on YouTube, you can join my Patreon either for free, or there's a few membership options that start as little as $4 Australian a month, which is about $3 US. And that gives you recognition in videos. You can chat with me, ask questions. If you pay a little bit more though, you're going to get some priority. I'm going to give you some better support. Actually, everyone gets support. So no matter what tier you pay for, I'm going to help you with your SBC woes if you have any. However, if you make a lot of money, which some people do, you're welcome to give me a lot of money. And then of course you get more. You can even pick what I try out, which is, I mean, you can here too, but you're going to get to shout out, you're going to get to pick what I do, you're going to get more recognition. And of course it helps me do things like this because not everything is paid for, not everything is sent for free. Even if you join as a free member though, you do get some behind the scenes and early access stuff, which is always appreciated. So feel free to drop in, have a look at what I'm doing here, sign up if you want. Otherwise, do hit that like and subscribe below because the algorithm loves it. Now, just as a reminder as well, I am going to open this up and we're going to have a look at its insides. I want to do that after the first boot process. So I want to see what experience you'll get when you take one of these home and plug it in for the first time. So now, if we go HDMI, I'm going to quickly reconfigure that. There we go, magically through editing or pausing. So now you can see this in the corner when I plug it in and you're going to get an idea of what's going on. The last thing I'll quickly do now is grab the keyboard and mouse and plug it into that USB 2.0 port. Oh, let's double check that's the right voltage. Yep, 19 volts. I don't want to cook this thing straight out of the box. So here we go. Now, whilst we watch that boot up for the first time, let's have a look at some of the other comparators because I thought, off the cuff, this is a bit expensive for the specs, in my opinion. This is my unadulterated opinion, but then I did dive into it a little bit. And when I started looking at some of the competitors, I started realizing a few things, like they don't all have quad display. Whoop, this is, I don't know if my power supply is working. One tick. Nope, just me. I'm used to SBCs that don't have a power button, so I just plugged that in and I didn't hit the power button. We should probably hit the power button. There we go. It's immediately drawing 10 watts. Fantastic. So that's off to the races. We've got a nice little glowing light there, as you can see. Yeah, as I was saying, looking at some of the others, you start to realize a few things. Has this turned itself off? This could absolutely be the fact that I'm not using the power supply that it came with. I did want to measure the power consumption of it, but for some reason it's not happy with that, even though it should support as much power as it needs, 65 watts. So let me grab the actual power supply and plug that in, and then we'll come back to this. All right, here we go. We've got the genuine power supply now, so we can avoid any potential confusion. And I've just put it on an Atom plug. We'll do a video about Atom in the future, but they've got some good power monitoring, so we'll have a look at what it is drawing. Now, hit the power button. It's turned on. I can hear the fan going. So I think my power supply, the 65 watt power supply up there, probably just couldn't do it. That's okay. These things happen. Now, as I was saying, whilst this boots up, as I was talking about, looking at other vendors, I started to see a few things. So they don't all have USB 3.2 Gen 2. You're not going to have as fast a USB experiences, especially if you're doing a lot of file copying. Most of them don't support quad display. They support only 2 to 3 displays from what I could find. And then the other issue was that they don't all allow you to, as I said, flash the BIOS or change the BIOS, but add more RAM and add more hard drives. So for the price you're paying for this, you're actually getting really good performance for a low TDP. You're getting a genuine Windows license. You can modify the BIOS. You've got 3 years warranty. You've got good support. You've got all the drivers. You've got quad display. Hopefully you've got working Wi-Fi after a reinstall. You've then got the dual M2 slots and 2 DDR4 SODIMM slots. So lots of capabilities, which I ended up deciding makes it really worthwhile. For a sub $1,000 computer, this thing will be able to do basic gaming, basic CAD, easily do general office work and everyday use. Now, we've got a first time setup here, which is really, really good to see. It's not booting straight to a desktop with a pre-configured user, which means it is more likely genuine. We will definitely test that But for now, let's quickly fly through this bit and then we'll get to the desktop and see how it performs. Hold please. Here's one other thing that I thought worth quickly checking. Some of the mini PCs I've bought or tested at work or here come with a bit of an older version of Windows, and updates take a very long time. So before this managed to install any updates, I've hit Shift F10 and run WinVer just to see it's got 24H2. So of course this isn't the latest release. It's going to be a bit unreasonably hard for them to maintain up-to-date releases and reflash all of their stock that's been built. But I've had mini PCs turn up with 22H2, 23H2, which is very old and no longer supported. 24H2, Home, Pro, and whatnot is supported until October this year at least. So it's shipping with a supported version of Windows, unlike those others. And of course, once this is actually updated, it's probably going to update to 25H2 or 26H1, and that's supported for even longer. So I'm going to let this finish its update process, where I've already turned off all of the tracking and all of that rubbish that's built into the worst operating system Microsoft has ever released. Ooh, I don't know. Pardon my chair. Windows ME, that was a cluster. So we'll leave this installing its updates. It's not too warm yet. Whilst this is going, I'm going to have a quick look at how much power it's drawing as well, because downloading and installing is going to hammer the processor a bit. It's optimized to do it as quick as possible. And then we'll come back to the desktop environment, try it out, start the benchmarks. See you soon. All right, we're back and it has finished updating itself. Now, again, full disclosure, the Wi-Fi, the wireless connectivity for my keyboard and mouse was a bit flaky when I had it in that USB 2.0 port in the back. I can only guess that's because it's got high-speed I/O either side of it. Moving a HDMI might fix it, but I didn't bother trying. I just thought I'd try the front ports. Given that they're USB 3.2, it might be a little bit different, and so far so good. I haven't had any issues with it. I did, however, just for the sake of testing, have this one plugged in to that rear port, and it worked perfectly fine as well. So you do have a few options there, but honestly, it took me years to learn that trick about putting an extension in or moving the port after going through a lot of batteries, thinking it was just my keyboard and mouse or something. So this has just finished all of its updates. We're gonna, well, it's logging in now. It's doing its initial setup thing it does with a new user. We're gonna validate that Windows key to show that it's an OEM key burned into the board that's genuine. We're going to have a look at the basic functionality and see how it performs. Then we're going to run the benchmark. Now, I won't leave it recording through the benchmark. I'll cut away for that, come back to it when it's done, but all the results will be below, as I said before, and then we'll wipe it and do a fresh install, see what it's like directly out of the box with a fresh Windows, because I know some of you like to do that with these mini PCs that aren't from your local retailer, they're bought online from an overseas supplier. Now, I've got full confidence in GEEKOM, especially after Sean reached out and I started doing some research into them. I've lost faith in most other mini PC vendors to date, to be honest, including some of the ones that I own and have tried. Oh, here we go. So I'm really excited about this. And as I said, I've got a lot of confidence in them. We will also have a look at, here we go, display settings, at how much power it's consuming, because a lot of people also want to know about that. Now, it's running at 4K natively. As you can see, I'm just bumping that DPI or the scaling up a little bit. Ooh, does it support HDR? I don't even know if half my stuff supports HDR. Watch this break. Yeah, no, that's going to have to revert in a moment. I don't think any of my capture hardware, there we go. Oh, it does actually do it. All right, that's cool. My capture hardware supports it. So, especially if you're wanting 4K HDR content for YouTube playback or a media center, this is also a good fit. But realistically, I think a media center is going to be a waste because this is a little powerhouse of a device. Now, after all those updates, we got to 25H2, as I thought we might. Now, if you are curious, especially if you've got a new mini PC and you want to see what's going on, you should be able to do, haven't tried this yet, WMIC path software licensing service get OA3X original product key. And it should be in a capital O, and I'm not sure if it's case sensitive. Also not sure if this is going to show my license key, so I might have to blur it, but if it's OEM built into it, there shouldn't be an actual key that it shows, I think. It does. I'm going to have to blur that out. So that'll be blurred there, but this is what appears to be an absolutely genuine key. Now, what we want to see next is Wi-Fi. So what does the Wi-Fi perform like, especially because it's in that aluminium casing? So they're quite possibly using the case as an antenna somehow. Otherwise, that plastic interface at the back is going to have, probably installing graphical driver updates as Intel always does. Yeah, possibly that plastic along the back is going to have the antenna installed on it, as we quite often see. Let's see how this goes. We're seeing all my 2.4 and my 5 gigahertz networks there, which is quite excellent. I might have gotten that key wrong, but we'll find out in a moment. Let's just go to this more Wi-Fi settings whilst that connects. It's going to say no internet for a moment whilst it tries to suss out what's going on with my DNS. I only have it, it's on maximum it can do, so great throughput there actually. I only have this network configured as 2.4 gigahertz, but I do have a bit of trust in this, so actually that might even be a bit limited at the moment. I might have broken my DNS infrastructure earlier, so let's try this one out. This is a 5 gigahertz network, and we'll see what sort of speeds we get. Let's go back to here, and it's connected at 2.4 gigahertz there as well. I'm going to assume supported WPA3 perfectly fine. It's only connected in Wi-Fi 4 mode, which is a little bit strange. Let's just go back and refresh that, because this should support Wi-Fi 6. I do have a Wi-Fi 6 network. All right, let's forcefully change this. I'm going to disable 2.4. I think I can do that from the device properties in here, and then we'll see how it performs. One tick. All right, that connected very quickly. I'm not sure if you just saw that then, but I've disabled 2.4. It's definitely a Wi-Fi 6 adapter, and there we go. It's connected at a pretty nice 500 by 300 megabit in Wi-Fi 6 mode using WPA3. So this is working excellently in that regard. Now, if my mouse movement looks a little bit jank, pardon the lag. Oh God, I hate Edge. No, I don't want to do that. What's the bet you're going to ask me twice? Yeah. Just stop asking me crap. No one ever wants to do that, nor should they. WebGel base mark. And we want to go Edge GPU. Now this will all be fully compatible. There we go. That's looking very nice. Exactly what we expect to see there. Let's fix that up. So yeah, the lag is due to the Elgato capture card. It's just what it does. It makes it quite hard to use, but that's okay. It's what we're going to deal with right now. Yay, adverts and cookie pop-ups that we don't want. So this should absolutely fly. What we do want to do is choose a power plan. Let's max this one out a bit. We're on balanced, and that's the only one that's there. That's fine. This should be hitting 4 point something gigahertz. God, it's hardly even touching the sides of it at the moment. There we go, 4 point something, exactly as I said. You can see the built-in graphics there are doing their job. This is quite nice. I'm not complaining about that at all. Are you done installing graphics updates? No. Did I ask for OneDrive to be installed? Actually, I just thought of something, sorry. It's probably not graphics updates, and I'm not blaming GEEKOM. Windows 11 has this annoying issue where when certain graphics mode changes, the screen goes black for a moment. Now, if you're using Windows 11 and you watch YouTube videos and things like that, you've probably noticed it yourself. Now, one thing that I think might actually affect it is there's some graphic settings in Windows 11 that you can change. So I'm going to turn off that optimization, but you can also apps, manage power settings for GPU. No, that's just a web search. There's something to do with the power settings that I haven't actually explored very much, but yeah, you can see whenever it's changing what sort of content it's rendering, Windows 11 does whatever stupid shit it's choosing to do. This is really annoying about Windows 11, and it happens on pretty much all the devices I use. It's probably some power optimization. If you know how to turn it off, please let me know. It plagues me at work. It plagues my brother at work. It plagues me on this device now. It plagues me on my media center. But we can see this is doing exactly what it should. So we have a very capable 4-point-something gigahertz processor, a graphics card that has no issue with the WebGL benchmark test. We have Wi-Fi 6 with WPA3 on 5 gigahertz and 2.4 gigahertz working perfectly fine. We had a good Windows 11 out of the box with a genuine license key. We have working ports, 4K display, which I believe, and I didn't check just before, should be 60 FPS as well. Where we go advanced information. 59.94 is perfectly fine. So this is so far passing every test. Now I'm going to start the benchmark on it. After that's done, I'll probably come back and just show you the results, and then we will wipe it, install fresh Windows 11 and see if everything is working as it should, because we don't know what sort of state, what was done to this. You might want to install it as well. For that, we just have the Windows 11 installer on a USB stick that we did with the genuine Windows or Microsoft Media Creation tool. So it's not going to be using their image. It'll be a fresh Microsoft image. Let's see what happens. I'll catch you guys shortly. Hey folks, future me here because it's Friday and I'm editing this video, or finishing editing it, and it's about to go live tonight. However, I recorded like an hour's worth of footage that I want to keep. So I've just finished the first part of the factory Windows image that it comes on. The benchmark results for that are going to be low, and I'm going to cut this video here. I wasn't even meant to record more than like 10-15 minutes of content, but this is a seriously awesome product. So in the next week or two, you'll have the second installment of this, where we're going to do the fresh install of Windows and test that out. We're going to do the fresh install of Linux and test that out. We're going to talk a little bit more about it and really put it through its paces. In that, you're also going to get to see it inside too. So I hope you enjoyed thus far. I hope you're looking forward to more of this, but definitely let me know in the comments below what you want to see, just in case, because I can always retake it or edit it or anything like that. There will be a purchase link to this, and they have given us a discount code, which is awesome. So don't forget to use that from the link below if you want to get one of these for yourself. I'm certainly going to be using it. And this week, actually, I'm reinstalling Windows today after Linux to put it to use as a spare PC at home. So thank you to my patrons. Thank you to GEEKOM for sending this. Thank you to all of you for watching this. I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and I'll catch you very soon.